Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Diaz, and I'm really glad to share with you my research project called The Effectiveness of the iRead Platform in 6th grade EFL learners. This work was carried out as part of my integral practicum in 2025, and I was guided by Professor Ruben Mauricio Muñoz Morales. Okay, to begin with, let me talk about the content needs. Give me a second. Content needs. Okay. This research took place in a bilingual private school located in Turbaco, Bolivar. The school promotes high quality education and a strong emphasis in English learning. It follows an eclectic model, which means it supports different strategies depending on the student needs. As a pre-service teacher, I noticed that students needed a more engaging way to read in English. That's why I decided to use iRead platform, which is a digital tool that encourages autonomy and keeps students more interested in reading. Now moving on the justifications. Okay, many sixth graders struggle with reading comprehension, especially when it comes to identifying the main idea or making inference. Also, traditional methods don't always work well because they feel boring and disconnected from their real life. In this sense, the iRead platform is very helpful because it brings interactive and level-based tasks. It also uses scaffolding, metacognitive strategies, and interactive reading, all of which support students' comprehension in a more dynamic and meaningful way. Let's continue with the research question and objective. Okay, the main question I asked myself was, what is the effectiveness of the iRead platform on sixth graders' reading comprehension at Beverly Hills School, Turbaco Branch? In order to answer these questions, I focused on four main objectives. Okay, the first objective was to analyze how effective the platform really is. Second, to measure students' reading levels before and after using it. Third, to identify the activities that worked best. And finally, to evaluate their progress using different tools like pre-test, midterm test, and post-test. Let's take a look at the theoretical framework. Okay, give me a second. Okay, this research is based on several key theories. First, sociocultural theory. Let me show you because sociocultural theory. This theory explains how learning happens through interaction and support, especially in the ZPD, zone of proximal development. Then schema theory says this theory says that our background knowledge help us to understand new tests. Okay, another theory that I used was interactive processing models. This theory describes how readers use top-down and bottom-up strategies to build meaning. I also base my research on cognitive load theory, and that which help to create activities that are not too heavy mentally, and finally the pedagogy and multi-choice. Okay, so what was the purpose of this study? Give me a second. Okay, mainly I wanted to make reading more fun and engaged and meaningful for students. Also, I aim to improve their ability to understand text by helping them focus on the main ideas and inference. And finally, I wanted to encourage them to enjoy reading in English using digital tools that match their interests, you know? Okay, now let's talk about the methodology. Give me a second. Okay, methodology. Okay, this study used a quasi-experimental design with a mixed method, okay? Method approach, which means I use both numbers and observation to get a complete pictures. Okay, I worked with 14 students, 10 boys, 4 girls, you know, at a private school in Tobago. Their English level ranged from A1 to B1, which made the platform very useful because it adapts to each student. To measure their progress, I applied pre-test and post-test. In addition, I used observation checklists and collected their work from the platform. Finally, I applied triangulation, which means comparing results from different sources to make the findings more reliable. Let's continue. Let's now move on to the data analysis. Okay, as I told you before, I worked with 2 types of data, quantitative data and qualitative data. The qualitative data based on results from initial, that means pre-test, intermediate, that means midterms, and concluding evaluation, that means post-test. The qualitative data based on classroom observation checklists, outputs from the iRead platform, and student response in the field diary, students production, like digital storytelling and comprehension task. Okay, by combining both, we use triangulation. That means that it is combined information we get from the quantitative and qualitative data. Okay, now as for the finding, the results were very, very positive. Give me a second. Okay, students clearly improved their abilities to identify main ideas and make inference. Also, they became more engaged to read, more motivated to read, thanks to the interactive and game-like nature of the platform. Some activities were especially effective in helping them understand text better. To sum up, in conclusion, we can say that the study showed that using technology like the iRead platform can really support English reading instructions. It helped students not just improve their reading skills, but also enjoy the process. So the answer is absolutely yes. Yes, the iRead platform is effective in enhancing reading comprehension in 6th grade EFL learners. Okay, here You can see some of the main reference I use for this study. I include both classic authors and recent studies related to reading comprehension, digital tools, and language education. Finally, we can see the appendix. The appendix shows some tools that I used, like observation checklist, student tasks, and samples of their work, like this. In this example, students could read the sorrow. It was an exciting and dynamic activity, and I can show you this. Finally, you can see some pictures, or one pictures. They were so happy this day, and during the implementation phase. So, teacher, I'm so happy to present this project. For me, it was like a baby. When we have a baby, it was my baby that I really love a lot. Thank you so much, teacher. Bye bye.